Hey guys! So today I'm giving you all a couple tips on how I personally scored higher than a 30 on the ACT. For those of you who don't know, the ACT is a standardized test that high schoolers take, and those scores are submitted to the colleges or universities that they are applying to. So the ACT is very important, and it is scored out of a total 36, and so really only like the top 5% of test takers will score between the 30 and 36 range. But I just wanted to say that you guys don't have to aim for above a 30. This is more for the people who are really looking to improve their score and to maybe get into more selective colleges and universities. So I hope some of you find something helpful in this video. Taking the ACT, preparing for it, and continually improving your score is very, very time consuming and takes a lot of hard work. And so I think it's a great idea to make a list of all of the reasons you want to do well on the ACT and why you're taking it in the first place. And this list should be really, really honest and personal to yourself. Like, why do you want to do well on this test? And having that list is a great source of motivation for whenever you're exhausted and you really don't feel like studying or doing another practice test. You can look back at this list, remember why you're doing it in the first place, just to keep on going. And I'd also recommend taking a practice test without really knowing much about the test. That way you just understand like how well you did it cold, and this is a great option if you're trying to decide whether to take the SAT or the ACT. So take a practice test on both. It can just be at home for free, like find one online and see which one you do better on. And if it's the ACT, then it's a good idea to focus on that one. So after taking a practice ACT and scoring it, I decided I wanted to take the test. And so the first thing I did was dedicate some time to know everything I could about the format and structure of the ACT itself. This is something so many people don't do, but I think it actually helps so much just because you already know most of the material and content that is being tested in the ACT, but you don't necessarily have the familiarity with the format of the test. So it's important to know things like there's no guessing penalty, and you should know specific things about each section. And being able to do that will allow you to manage your time better during the test. And I'd suggest either going on the ACT website, Googling, or look through prep books. Many prep books actually have sections at the beginning of the book itself just explaining what the test is like, examples of the questions, and how you should tackle them. An important thing to note about prep books is that many of them have questions and tests that aren't very reflective of the actual ACT, which is why I really like this one, which is the Real ACT Prep Guide, and it's from the makers of the ACT. So all of the practice tests are previously administered ACT tests, and so you know that when you're taking a practice test, the questions and how they are worded is very, very accurate to the actual ACT, and that just helps you prepare better. So having the materials that are going to help you succeed the most are very important to have. And I found that after I took each test, I scored it myself, and I went through all of the questions I got wrong in the detailed explanations section of each test, and that just really helped me a lot. And I definitely recommend this book or the newer edition that I think came out recently. For me, practice tests were the best way to study because I had the most trouble with the time management aspect of the ACT, and continually doing practice tests over and over again under the timed constraints and everything just really, really helped me get familiar with the test. And so as I did constant practice tests, I actually set up a little table for myself to track my progress. So I put along the side the composite, science, reading, math, and English sections, and then along the top I put my diagnostic test, the very first one I took, the goal that I have in mind for each section. And then from there on, I just have columns for each date that I decided to take the test. This obviously is not my real table or anything, but as I did that, I did color code with yellow, red, and green for each score so I could have a visual representation of exactly how well I did on that specific test, and I could see the areas that I needed to do more work on. And so I think doing this really helped me see where I am and where I need to go, and that's something that kept me very focused while I was studying for the test. So I took about one practice test per week as I was studying for the ACT, and in between those practice tests, I took a lot of time to go over all of the questions I got wrong on the practice test, understand like why I got them wrong instead of just reading the correct answer. Like anyone can just read an explanation, be like, oh, that makes sense that B is the answer, but you really need to understand the concepts behind why you got it wrong in the first place. If it was a math problem, maybe you didn't fully understand the concept when you were first learning it, so it's a good idea to go back through your notes and practice that type of problem over and over again. Or if it's in a reading passage, maybe you got it wrong because you didn't completely understand like the main idea or the author's tone, and being able to know the root of the problem behind your wrong answer is more important than just understanding why the answer is correct. Like you need to know why you got it wrong in the first place, so you want to stamp out all of those bad habits and careless mistakes by just drilling those problems over and over again. So in addition to the real ACT guide, I got this Barron's ACT 36 Aiming for the Perfect Score book, and I was not aiming for a perfect score at all, but I did find a lot of the advice and strategies in this book very specific and helpful. So if you're looking for some extra like advice and tips, definitely check out this book. Aside from that, the number one thing for ACT test takers is to go to sleep early the night before the test. I know everyone says this, your teachers will say it, your parents probably will say it, but it's so important to really get enough sleep so your brain can function at its maximum capacity so you can do as well as you can on this test. And I'd also suggest not cramming like the week before the test and take like a practice test every day leading up to the, no, don't do that. Like take maybe 2 months or a month before the test and do a practice test every week. Just be really methodical about it. It's so boring, I know, but hang in there, and if you're lucky, you only have to take the test one time for real. So good luck to anyone who is taking the ACT this year or is taking it sometime in the future, and just please remember that your ACT score or SAT score is not the only thing on your college application. There are so many other things that a college will look at besides your standardized testing score, so just make sure that that's not the only thing you think about as you're in high school. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my YouTube channel because I post videos every Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday. You can add me on Snapchat and follow me on my Instagram and Tumblr account. Bye guys!